Hello my olives, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going through how I edit my Instagram photos. I used to edit my photos on the actual Instagram app until my friend introduced me to Lightroom, which is the app that you'll need if you want to edit photos like me. I'm not sure about cost for the Lightroom app. I have a student Adobe account where I rent all the programs. It's like a monthly price. So let's get into it. I'm gonna screen record. So I get a lot of questions about my room selfies, which takes up a lot of my Instagram feed. I just took some photos, so I'm loading them into Lightroom and I'll show you how I edit them. Lots of you ask what filter I use. I don't have a set filter that I use. I basically edit one photo from the shoot and then I create a filter from that one edit and like apply it to all my favorites, and then I kind of narrow down my favorites. So yeah, I don't just take 2 photos and say that's it. I take a million and then I kind of nail it down to my favorites. So it's kind of a long process. There's a lot of work that goes into Instagram, guys. I think my editing style is very bright, vibrant, saturated and warm. I think one of the main tips when you're editing your photos, you don't have to use Lightroom, but with Lightroom I always bring up the shadows. It's usually at 100. Bringing up the shadows I find just is really flattering and I like the look of it. It's particularly flattering for curly hair. I don't know, it makes your curls kind of pop out in the photo. Let me find a photo I want to edit. So I've picked one and usually I go to crop and I straighten the photo if it's a bit wonky. And then sometimes I crop it in Lightroom or after Lightroom. I'll show you how to crop it in Lightroom. I go to 4:5 crop, 4:5 crop. I try to center myself and just straighten it. I look at my bed in the background and kind of straighten it according to that. Oh, this photo is a bit weird because I'm like tilting this way a bit. I've cropped it how I would like it, and then what I usually do is I press auto, which is down at the bottom right. And you click that and it kind of automatically fixes the lighting. But then I go in and adjust everything. So I go click light, and as I said, the first thing I do is bring up the shadows heaps. See, bringing up to 100, I just like the look of that, and you can probably see that's how most of my photos look on my feed. So yeah, I adjust the shadows. I go to color and I go to yellow, depending on what I'm wearing and the photo, because the lighting always turns out different no matter what. But I usually drag down yellow because it makes the photo more, I don't know, clean to me, and the white rug and stuff appear whiter when you get rid of some yellow. So I'm gonna take it down to like 35. I also love green, so I bring the greens up. I make it a bit warmer with the hue. Also, I always edit with my brightness at the very top just so you can see very clearly how bright the lighting is and whatnot. I don't follow specific numbers when I'm editing, like I'll just bring it down according to the photo. So I'm going to bring the highlights down. But yeah, this photo was pretty good because I didn't have to change much. Some photos I have to change a lot, like the temperature. If it's too cool, I like to make it warmer. And also sometimes I make it tint it more green or pink. But this photo is pretty good. This is basically the standard edit that I like. But yeah, that's that photo done. So I'll save that. And then what I do, I create a preset out of that edit and I just call it like, this is a Glassons outfit, so I'll call it Glassons. Then I go look at different poses and different favorites of that outfit. So this is a different pose. The crop's a bit straighter than the other one, so I like it. And then I just go to presets and click Glassons, and then I just adjust it a bit because the lighting always changes. So yeah, I could show you the specific numbers of each factor, like exposure, contrast, but yeah, I don't follow any specific numbers. It's literally just on a case-to-case basis of the photo. Yeah, if you want your feed to look like mine, bring up the shadows heaps, make sure the photo is nice and lit brightly, and make sure it's nice and warm with lots of warm colors. If you want to make your photo warmer, just go to temperature and raise the warmness. The lighting I use for those room selfies is I have my makeup mirror on my left side and that has lights, so I turn up the lights, and then on the other side, on my right side, I have a ring light. Just having that nice balanced even lighting and having that white light really makes it easier to edit and make the photo better quality and just a nice looking photo for Insta. So that's all I do on Lightroom. I know it's not like a really step-by-step thing. It's basically just lifting the shadows, adjusting the lighting so it's nice and bright according to the photo. Something else I forgot to show you is that I always go to effects and then I lift the texture up. Makes everything pop more. That ranges from like 10 to 20 depending how much texture I want in the photo. So sometimes if the photo needs a bit more oomph, I go onto Facetune. I don't think I have the new one. I think this is the old one. But basically upload your photo. I don't do this for every post, it's just when I feel like it, or if I feel like the rug looks a bit yellow and some bits need more defining. So I go to the whiten tool and I just go over the rug and make it more white. As you can see, that just makes it a bit more cleaner. And then I'll go to details, and sometimes I'll just lightly run over the plant on the right, run over the plant on the left, run it over the painting in the background. I can zoom in and go over my curls to make them pop even more. I just do this very lightly, otherwise it's a very obvious, like, in this case I'd probably bring out the details of the boots, make them pop. And I'm pressing the before and the after, so it's very subtle. I don't do that every time, but if I'm feeling a bit picky or if I feel like I have time to edit, then I'll go in and do that. I'll show you some other apps that I have that are good for dusty filters and for vintage looking filters. I don't add vintage filters that much to my room selfies, but sometimes if I'm taking photos outside, I like to add a little something different. So this is Afterlight. So if I go to the fourth icon and then go light leak, sometimes I like to use number 10, which is basically the only one I really use. It's this really pretty golden kind of Tinkerbell fairy dust effect. It kind of makes it look like the mirror is dusty and kind of pretty in the sunlight. Or yeah, I like to use it on other types of photos as well, but you can adjust how much you want. You can do it very subtly, or you can have it more intense. But yeah, that looks pretty for that photo. So I just press the tick and save that. Afterlight is free and it also has dusty effects. It has like old film photo effects. But yeah, you should definitely check it out. It's got some cool light leaks as well. Another app that I recently discovered that I know other Instagrammers use is Snow. I did explore this app, but the only thing I really use from it is if you go to filter and then trend, and then they have different filters with that kind of vintage date on the side that I see a lot of influencers use sometimes. And you can adjust the brightness so you can just have the date on the side. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Also for selfies that I take out in the sun, they have different bling filters, and for selfies it's really good. If you're wearing like earrings or you have jewelry on, you can adjust the bling to how much you want in the photo, and you can save it as a video or a photo. But yeah, sometimes if you see little bling effects on my selfies and stuff, it's usually from this effect. I think that's all I have to share. I'll go into Lightroom and just edit photos, and I can do a little time lapse and you can see the kind of process that I go through in terms of editing photos. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I use an iPhone 8. I want to upgrade, but I might wait till Apple come out with their new iPhone, which I think is in September. That's basically what I do. I go through 100 photos, pick out my favorites, and then I upload them to Lightroom. I bring out the shadows, I bring down the yellow, I make it nice and vibrant. Sometimes I whiten areas and add more detail to areas on Facetune. And I use Afterlight and Snow for filters and vintage effects. It's pretty easy, and let me know if you're going to try out this method for your photos. Thanks for requesting this video. I hope it helps a bit, and I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget to like this video if it was helpful and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!